Hi, Impact family. It's Pastor Bill, and I'm videoing you on the front porch of our home. So you might hear a car or two go by, or dog barking, or something like that. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update in terms of kind of where I'm at and things that have been going on. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone. I've already expressed this to the board, to Fripp, but I want to say it to you as a congregation. Just for giving me this time away. I've not really ever done a true sabbatical since I began vocational ministry in 1983. Honestly, I had no idea how badly I needed it, how important it was going to be. I've come to the realization that I think maybe I've been adrift for a while, just not knowing it, not knowing how to assess that. Fatigue, a loss of passion are probably signs that all of us should pay attention to, and I certainly needed to. And this has been a time for that to really surface out. And it's given me some room for personal assessment as well as personal assessment. Both of those things are really important. The professional assessment, side of things, I kind of expected. The more personal side has been a little bit more, I guess, surprising to me. But what's been clarified and affirmed is that I'm still called to ministry. God still has his hand in my life, and honestly, I'm still called to impact. That was important to nail down, and I just wanted to express that to you and how excited I am to continue to be a part of this ministry and to hang out with people like you. I think some other things have kind of come into focus a little bit. They're still in the process of clarifying, and so this is just thinking out loud a little bit with you. I believe the conversation we've been in for the past several months about disciples making disciples is the exact conversation we need to be in as a ministry, that I need to be in as an individual Christian. I don't know if we have figured out with absolute clarity how we best do that, most effectively do that, most consistently do that, but we absolutely want to keep that conversation going and figure those things out and just ask God to really bring clarity to all of that. I'm excited to hear that there's talk about gatherings beginning in September. I'm sure you look forward to that. I know I do. Man, I've had some thoughts running through my mind as it relates to worship services, weekends, large gatherings. One, I want those to be large enough to celebrate, to have like enough people in the house to really, to be able to hear things that God is doing, to be able to share that with one another, but not so large as to get lost in. And that doesn't mean that I'm not open to multiple services, but it really helps clarify why we would do multiple services and gives us a real clarity in terms of the purpose with that. Regarding Sunday gatherings or worship experiences, I guess I've always been that guy that loved the lights and the cool things and all the stuff that we can do and have become a part of contemporary worship. And all that's fine, I guess, but what I'm really hungry for is authentic, spirit-led worship that refuses to chase trends, just chase Jesus. And maybe that's just a correction in my own soul, but if so, it's still an important one. Another thought has been running through my mind, and it really doesn't relate so much to Sunday mornings as it relates to kind of the whole church and every day of the week. And that's like, how do we measure, how do we assess spiritual growth and health, and not just participation in programs, which is much easier to measure, I think. I'm not being critical of programs. They absolutely have their time and their place. I've just become much more aware that we can show up week after week and not be in a growing or not even be in a healthy relationship with Christ. And I don't want that to be true of you or I, either one. I want us to to be in healthy, growing relationships and have an awareness those times and places where we're not, and begin to pursue the reasons underneath that. Last, and I think this is so important as we move forward, how do we best equip and empower people to live out their calling each and every day? I think home churches are absolutely a part of that, but each one of you is a minister in your own right. Each of you has a calling. Each of you has purpose. Each of you have people that you're to minister to and directions that only you can truly walk in. And as your pastor, I want to do everything I can to pour into you and to invest into you and to set you free to do that. Finally, if it's of any interest, I'm reading a couple of books that I'm finding absolutely fascinating. And if you want to follow along, I would invite you to do so. One is called Future Church by Will Mancini. Will's been around for a long time, but I think this is probably the most important thing that he's written, and has really helped me take a good overview of the last years of my pastoring and churches I've been a part of, and then look to the future and see what God is doing these days. And another one was recommended to me by an individual that I'm just getting to know. It's a book by Terry Walling, Walling, called Stuck. Wow, is it ever a big deal? And if you feel stuck at all, stuck in your career, stuck in your relationship with the Lord, stuck in other relationships, just things aren't where they need to be and the heavens seem to be silent, this book is absolutely for you. I highly recommend it. Guys, I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to catching up with you. We just have just a few more weeks in terms of my breakaway, and then we'll let Fred break away for a bit. But I just wanted to check in, tell you I've been praying for you, been praying that God will continue to meet with you, that God will continue to have encounters with each and every one of you, that you'll grow, that you'll develop, that you'll be surprised by the presence of the Holy Spirit, that there will be times and places that will just refresh your souls. I love you.